This is brutally honest advice to build real confidence. No fluff, no excuse. 14 raw truths every man needs to hear to finally become who he was meant to be. Truth 1. Admit you're faking it. You want to know why most men struggle with confidence. It's not because they're actually, it's because they've become world-class actors. Yeah, you heard me. You've been performing so long, you don't even realize you're lying anymore. You say you're good when you're a mess. You say, I've got this, when you're falling apart. You look in the mirror and see this version you craft for other people so they won't see the crack. And the thing is, you've been rewarded for it. The world loves a man who can act like he's fine no matter what. But that's the trap. That fake confidence is killing you inside because you know you're not being real. If you're honest, you've had moments late at night, maybe after a few drinks, where you felt that mask slip, where you realized you're terrified people see how insecure you really are. You're worried they'll laugh, judge, think less of you, so you keep it locked up. You act like you don't care, you posture, brag, or stay quiet altogether. Anything to avoid showing your real self. But the problem is, you can't build true confidence on top of a lie. It will crumble every time shit gets real. And deep down, you know it. Drop a comment right now if you've ever caught yourself pretending to be more confident than you felt. Because here's the brutal truth. No one wants to admit faking it doesn't make you stronger. It makes you fragile as hell. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a rotting wall and expecting it to hold. The moment life punches you in the face, and it will, that fake confidence shatter. That's why you need to stop lying to yourself first. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't build something solid until you clear out the bullshit. Admitting you're not as confident as you want to be is the bravest thing you can do. It's the only way you'll ever change. Think about it. If you can't even tell yourself the truth, who the hell can you tell? You want real strength? Start with brutal honesty. Sit down and actually write out the ways, the places you overcompensate, the times you stay silent because you're afraid. It's going to sting like hell. You might hate yourself for it at first. Good. That pain means you're getting real. It means you're waking up. Because that's the crack where actual change can happen. That's the moment you stop being a performer and start being a man who owns his shit. If you're brave enough to face it, tell me in the comments, where have you been faking your confidence? Don't just learn, actually say it. This is the line between pretending and getting real. If you want to keep hiding, go ahead and scroll. But if you're ready to actually grow, let's hear it. Truth 2. Destroy your excuses. Know what keeps most men stuck exactly where they are. It's not lack of talent, not lack of opportunity, not even bad luck. It's the mountain of bullshit excuses they've carefully built and polished over years. Listen to yourself when you talk about why you're not who you want to be. I don't have time. I wasn't raised that way. It's just how I am. I'd do it if she supported me. Man, stop. Just stop. All of those are shields you hide behind, because admitting you could do better means admitting you chose not. That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the only one that actually changes anything. If you're sitting there getting defensive, already good, that's the part of you that knows I'm right. It's the part that's been fighting tooth and nail to protect your ego instead. Toe of your future. Let's call it what it is. Fear. Fear you'll fail even if you try. Fear you'll look stupid. Fear you'll prove everyone right who said you'd never be. So instead, you craft these perfect reasons to stay exactly the same. But here's the truth. No one is going to coddle you. Those excuses are killing your potential. They're suffocating the man you could be. Every time you choose the excuse over the effort, you confirm you don't believe in yourself. If you've been lying to yourself with these excuses, comment no more. Right now, say it. Think about this. There are men out there who've faced worse circumstances than you can imagine. Poverty, abuse, zero support. And they still found a way. Not because it was easy, but because they refused to make excuses. You think you're unique in your obstacle. You're not. Every man struggles with something. Every man has reasons to quit. The only difference between you and the men you admire is that they stopped believing their own. They got painfully, brutally honest about where they were failing, and they owned it. That's the price of real change, and most men will never pay it. What about you? You ready to pay it? Because if you're not, stop pretending you want confidence. You want comfort. You want safety. You want to stay the same while convincing yourself you're trying. But if you're done with that, if you're actually ready to be dangerous, to be respected by yourself, when you look in the mirror, you have to kill those excuses one by one. Write them down, burn them if you have to, but stop letting them be the reason you die wondering what you could have been. Drop in the comments the biggest excuse you've been clinging to. Don't sugarcoat, don't justify it, just admit it. That's step one to destroying it forever. And if you're not ready to do even that, ask yourself why. Is the excuse really worth more to you than your future? TRUTH to three-face what you feel. Cut the shit for a second. Confidence isn't built by avoiding what scares you. It's built by running headfirst into it. But most men never. They live entire lives trying to carve out a safe little corner where nothing can hurt. They avoid hard conversation, challenging goal, new experience, and anyone who might call them on their bullshit. And they call that being smart or knowing their limit. But let's be honest, it's just fear wearing a cheap disguise. You can't build confidence if you spend your entire life hiding from the exact things that would make you grow. Here's the thing no one tells. Fear is a map. Whatever you're afraid of, that's exactly where you need to go. Afraid of public speaking, you should be the first to raise your hand. Afraid of telling someone you care about how you really feel. That's the conversation you need most. Afraid of starting over, risking failure, being judged. Guess what? That's the path to everything you say. Because fear is the boundary between who you are now and who you could be. Most men will live and die without ever crossing. Drop a comment right now if you know exactly what you're afraid of but haven't faced. Call yourself out. You know what happens if you keep avoiding fear. Your world gets smaller every year. The more you avoid discomfort, the more fragile you become. You end up living inside this tiny cage of safe decision. And then you wonder why you don't respect yourself. Because deep down, you know you're not the man you pretend to be. You know you're a prisoner of your own, and that eats away at you every single day. Confidence isn't about being fearless. That's a lie sold by people who want to look tough online. Confidence is about being afraid and moving anyway. Listen, no one's coming to rescue you from this. No one is going to hold your hand and make it. This is the part of life you have to choose on your own. And it doesn't start big. It starts small. It starts by picking one thing you've been avoiding and doing it today, not tomorrow. You don't magically wake up confident one day. You build it brick by brick, by proving to yourself that fear doesn't own you, that you can act even when your hands are shaking. That's how you earn real self-respect. If you're ready to face what scares you, even if it's one small thing, tell me in the comment. Let's see who's actually serious about this. Don't just nod along and scroll. This is the moment you decide if you're the kind of man who runs from fear or runs to war. It truth: for build competence. not cockiness. Here's the truth. That's fire going to piss some of you off. Thinking you're the shit doesn't make you. Confidence isn't about strutting around with your chest puffed out, talking a big game, or posting some cheesy motivation quote on social media. Real confidence is quiet because it's earned. It's built on competence, the actual provable ability to do what you say you can do. And most men never get that. They'd rather look the part than do them. They want the praise without the grind. But there's no shortcut here. You don't get real confidence from pretending. You get it from becoming undeniably good at something. Think about the men you actually respect. Not the clowns flexing on Instagram, but the ones you'd actually want by your side in a crisis. They're not loud. They don't need to be, because they know they can handle. They've put in the rep. They've failed and gotten back up. They have scars to prove they've been in the arena. That's the kind of confidence that can't be shaken by anyone else's opinion. Because it's not based on approval, it's based on reality. If you're tired of pretending you're confident, drop a comment right now and say, I'm ready to build it. Look at your own life. Where are you coasting on charm or bullshit instead of skew? Where have you been trying to fake it instead of putting in the rep? Maybe it's your career, maybe it's your health, maybe it's the way you communicate with people you care about. If you want to actually respect yourself, you have to stop bullshitting about how good you are and get honest about where you're weak. That's not self-hate. It's the foundation of real improvement. No one who's great at anything got there by telling them so. They were already good enough. And let's be clear, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. About stacking small wins until you can't deny you've improved. That's the stuff that makes you walk taller. That's what lets you look another man in the eye without flinching, because you know you've earned. So pick one thing, just one, and decide you're going to get good at it, no matter how long it takes. Don't just say you want to be better. Prove it day after day, rep after rep. If you're ready to call your own bluff and get to work, tell me in the comment. Name the skill you're going to master. Don't just think about it. Say it out loud. Write it down. Make it real. Because men talk about wanting confidence all the time. But the ones who actually build it, they're the ones who stop talking and start doing. Truth. 5. Embrace failure as training. Here's a brutal you might not want to hear. You will fail. Not one, not twice, but over and over. If you're serious about building confidence. Most men don't want to accept it. They want to believe they'll be perfect on the first try. They want the skill, the respect, the results without shit along the way. But that's not how anything worth having. You don't become confident by avoiding failure. You become confident by surviving it. By looking at your worst days and realizing they didn't break you. By knowing you can get back up even when everything went wrong. The reason so many men stay stuck is they're terrified of embarrassment. They can't stand the thought of looking stupid or unprepared, so they never start. They stay in the planning stage forever. They're waiting for the right time. That's cowardice, plain and simple. You know who's actually dangerous. The guy who's willing to look like a beginner. The one who shows up knowing he might fail and does it anyway. Because he knows every failure is another rep, another lesson, another scar on the way to mastery. If you've been letting fear of failure hold you back, drop a comment right now and say no more. Call yourself out. Let me tell you this, the men you respect most in life, the ones who seem unshakably confident, they've failed more than you've even tried. They've eaten losses, been humiliated, gone broke, gotten rejected, been told no 1,000 times. The only difference is they didn't let it stop them. They didn't take failure as proof. They should quit. They took it as proof they were trying. That's the mindset you need, because every failure is training. Every setback is forging you into someone who can't be rattled by a little discomfort or criticism. The real tragedy isn't failing. It's living so safe you never even give yourself the chance to win. It's lying on your deathbed, wish you'd tried, but realizing you let fear of failure steal everything you could have been. That's the part you need to think about. If you're serious about building unbreakable confidence, you have to get in the game. You have to be willing to lose. Because the only thing worse than failing is never stepping onto the field in the first. If you're ready to flip the script to see failure as a necessary step, not something to avoid, tell me in the comment. Share the biggest failure you learned from or admit the thing you're scared to fail at. Don't just think, pout it, make it real. Because that's the first step in owning it, instead of letting it own truth. 6. Choose your circle wisely. Let's talk about one of the most brutally honest truths about confidence no one wants to face. You will never outgrow the people you surround yourself with if you refuse to choose better company. Your circle is either your fuel or your poison. It's that simple. Most men don't want to hear this because it forces them to admit some of their closest friendships are built on convenience, not growth. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The guys who drag you back to your worst habit. The ones who laugh when you talk about improvement. The ones who want you are predictable and small, so they don't have to face their own shortcomings. If you keep spending time with men who have no ambition, no discipline, no respect for themselves, you'll become them. You might be better in some way, sure, but you'll still be stuck in the same orbit. The conversations stay shallow, the plans stay half-baked, the standards stay low, and you tell yourself it's loyal, but the truth is, it's fear. Fear, be alone. Fear of leveling up and having no one left at your side. But guess what? That fear is exactly what keeps you average. You don't owe your old self or your old circle future. If you know there are people holding you back, drop a comment and say, I'm ready to let go. Be honest that it's not about being cruel. It's about being clear. You can love people without letting them steer you. You can support them without lowering your standard to match theirs. Real friends want you to win, even if it means they feel uncomfortable about their own stagnation. And the truth is, once you start raising your standard, you're going to scare off people who can't keep up. That's not rejection, that's alignment. It's how you make room for men who will challenge, push, and hold you accountable. Think about it. If you're the most driven, disciplined man in your group, you're in the wrong. You should have people in your life who make you feel like you're not doing it, who calls you out on your laziness, who don't let you, because that's the fastest way to grow. That's how iron sharpens iron. If you want real, lasting confidence, you have to choose to be around people who expect more from you than you expect from yourself. If you're serious about changing your circle, tell me in the comments who you need to distance from, or the kind of people you want in your life. Don't keep it vague. Don't keep it safe. This is where you make the first move to war, building a tribe that actually builds truth. 7. Stop seeking validation. Let's get real. One of the biggest killers of a man's confidence is the constant, pathetic hunger for other people for approval. Most men don't even realize how bad they have it. You think you're independent, that you don't care what people think, but look at your action. Look at the way you bite your tongue instead of speaking your truth. Look at the way you shape your goals around what's impressive instead of what's meaningful. Look at how you scroll social media fishing for like, afraid to post anything to real. It's all validation seeking, and it's costing you your freedom. The ugly truth is, you can't be truly confident while being addicted to being liked. Those two things don't coexist. Every time you adjust yourself to be more palatable, more acceptable, more cool, You're sacrificing a piece of who you really are, and for what? Temporary approval from people who probably don't even know you. The worst part is you train yourself to need it. It becomes your drug, and like any addict, you lose all control over your choices, your voice, your damn life. If you're tired of shaping yourself for other people's approval, drop a comment right now and say, I choose me. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something purely because it mattered, not because it would make you look good? When was the last time you said what you actually thought instead of what you thought was safe? When was the last time you let yourself be honest, even if it meant someone might not like you? That's the real test, because being liked is easy if you're willing to sell your soul. Being respected, including by yourself, means you have to risk being disliked. It means you have to stand on what you believe, even if it costs you something. And let me tell you something that stings. The more you need validation, the less anyone respects. People can feel it when you're desperate to be liked. It repels real connection. It makes you look weak, untrustworthy, fake. The most magnetic, confident men are the ones who genuinely don't give a fuck about being, not because they're asshole, but because they know who they are, and they're okay with not being everyone's cup of. That's freedom. That's power. That's what you should be aiming for. If you're ready to break free from this addiction to validation, tell me in the comments. Tell me the one way you're going to start choosing yourself over approval. Don't make it theoretical, make it real. Because this is where you stop being someone else's puppet and start being the man you actually want to be. Truth 8. Make discipline your backbone here. S. Something most men don't want to. You will never be confident if you don't have discipline. Motivation is a fucking lie. It's fleeting, unreliable, and disappears the second things get hard. Anyone can feel fired up for 5 minutes after watching some hype video or hearing a speech, but that's not what builds confidence. What builds confidence is knowing you can count on yourself even on your worst day. It's the quiet, unsexy habit of doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel it. Discipline is the thing that separates men who talk about changing their lives from the one who actually do. Most guys want to be comfortable more than they want to grow. That's the truth. They want the body, but don't want the training. They want the money, but not the grind. They want the respect, but not the accountability. Discipline forces you to choose long-term reward over short-term comfort. And that's why it's hard as hell. It demands you sacrifice things you want right now for something better later. But the payoff is real, because every time you choose discipline, you're proving to yourself that you have control over your own mind, that you're not a slave to impulses or laziness or fear. If you know you've been avoiding discipline, drop a comment and say, I'm done avoiding. Ask yourself this: how much would your life change if you just did the shit you already know you're supposed to do? You don't need another book or motivational speech. You know exactly where you're slacking. The workouts you skip, the hours you wait, the calls you avoid, the conversations you don't. Discipline is the simplest, hardest answer to all that. Because it means no more excuses, no more lying to yourself about why you're not where you are. It's making a promise to yourself and actually keeping it. And that's the real source of confidence. The unshakable sense that you can rely on yourself, that you're not at the mercy of mood or circumstance. Discipline makes you dangerous in the best way, because it means you can't be easily broken. While other men are negotiating with their feelings, you're executing. While they're making excuses, you're making moves. And that's what creates the kind of quiet, authentic confidence that doesn't need to be broadcast. It's just felt. If you're ready to make discipline the backbone of your life, tell me in the comments. Share the one thing you're going to commit to doing daily, no matter what. Don't just think about it. Don't just nod. Make it real. Because confidence isn't built in your head. It's built in your habit. Truth. 9. Tell yourself the whole truth. Let's get brutally honest. Most men are masters of lying to everyone else. Sure. But most of all, to themselves. You want confidence. Start by dropping the bullshit you feed yourself every day. The convenient half-truth, the little justification, the stories you spin so you can sleep at night without admitting you're selling yourself. Because here's the thing, you can't change what you won't confront. And you can't confront what you refuse to admit is even there. Real growth starts with ruthless self-awareness. It's the hardest, most humbling work you'll ever do. But it's also the most freeing. Most guys walk around with these carefully constructed I'm a good guy, I work hard, I'm doing my best. But look closer. Are you really? Or are you phoning it in? Cutting corners when no one's watching? Are you using I'm busy as a crutch to avoid facing the fact you're unorganized or lazy? Are you calling yourself loyal when really you're just afraid to outgrow people who hold you back? Telling yourself you're waiting for the right time when you're just scared shitless to fail. This isn't about beating yourself up, it's about finally being fucking honest. If you're brave enough to admit you've been lying to yourself in some area, drop a comment right now and say, I'm done lying. Here's the truth that's both brutal and liberating. When you see yourself clearly, with all the flaws and bullshit laid bare, you finally get to choose something different. Most men stay stuck because they never do this. They'd rather blame their boss, their girlfriend, their parents, the economy, fate, anything but themselves. Because the second you admit it's on you, there's no one left to blame. But that's where all your power, that moment when you say, this is who I really am, and this is what I'm willing to do about it. Look, it's not comfortable. It shouldn't be. You might feel disgusted with yourself at first. That's okay. That means you're finally seeing reality. That discomfort, that's the spark that can light the fire of actual change. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You can either ignore it and keep living small, or you can use it as fuel to become the man you know could be. But you have to choose. No one can do it for you. If you're ready to actually do this, to call your own, to see yourself without the comforting filters, tell me in a comment. Tell me the one lie you're done telling yourself. Don't just think about it, make it real. Because this is the moment you stop being a victim of your own bullshit and start taking control of your life. Truth. 10. Own your past, but don't let it define you. Every man carries scars from the past. Failure, mistake, missed chance, broken relationship. Most guys let those scars become chains, dragging them down and holding. They replay the same stories over and over. I wasn't good enough. I blew that opportunity. I'll never be that guy. Here's the brutal. Your past is a part of, but it's not your prison. It's the foundation you build from, not the walls you hide behind. Owning your past means facing it head on. No excuses, no blaming other, no self-pity. It means accepting the lessons it taught you and using them as fuel to become better. Too many men waste years running from their history, drinking to forget, numbing the pain, or pretending it never happened. But you can't outrun your own shadow forever. The only way to break free is to stare it down, understand it, and then step beyond it. Growth is painful because it forces you to be honest about the mistakes and the man you were. But that pain is necessary. It means you're ready to stop living in regret and start living with purpose. If you've been stuck in your past, comment, I own it. Say it out loud. That's where real healing begins. Remember, your past shaped you, but it doesn't have to define who you become. Some of the strongest men I know carry heavy history, but they wear those scars like medals because they fought through them. You're not less because of your past. You're stronger if you refuse to be a victim of it. Own your story, but write the next chapters with power and intention. So, what part of your past are you ready to stop running from? Drop it in the comment. Be real. Be vulnerable. That's how men grow. Truth 11. Master emotion. Don't suppress them. Society has told men for too long that showing emotions is weakness. Crying is for loser. Anger is dangerous. Vulnerability is a trap. So most guys bottle everything up: anger, sadness, fear, and act like they're fine. But that's not strength. It's self-destruction. Real confidence comes from mastering your emotion, not suppressing. It means knowing how to sit with discomfort without losing control. It means using your feelings as information, not excuses. It means being the calm in the storm, not the ticking time bomb. Suppressing emotions builds pressure until it explodes in the worst way. Anxiety, rage, numbness, or worse. It's a silent killer of your confidence because you're lying to yourself about how you really feel. Being a man isn't about shutting down. It's about standing tall, even when everything inside is screaming. That's courage. That's power. And yes, it's hard as hell. But no one ever said building confidence would be easy. If you're tired of hiding how you really feel, drop a comment saying, "I'm done hiding." Own your emotions today. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. Real men cry. Real men get angry. Real men feel pain and still move forward. The only difference is they don't let those feelings run the show. They control the narrative inside their head and channel that energy into action. So, where have you been bottling up emotions that are holding you back? Share your story below. It's time to break the cycle. Truth 12. Take radical responsibility for your life. No one is coming to fix your life. No one owes you anything. The moment you stop blaming the world, your parents, your job, or your luck, is the moment you reclaim your power. Radical responsibility means owning everything about your life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's brutal because it means no more excuses, no more victim mentality. It means looking in the mirror and saying, "This is my life, and I'm the one who controls." Most men avoid this because it's scary. It's easier to blame someone else than admit you've been coasting or making poor choices. But real men step up and say, "I'm accountable." They don't wait for permission or a rescue. They don't look for a magic fix. They start with themselves. And that's where confidence truly grows, when you own your decision and their consequence, good or bad. If you're ready to take full control, comment, "I'm accountable." Own it. Don't shy away. Look at where you are right now. How much of it is because of your choice? How much is because you've been waiting for something external? You want to be stronger, richer, more confident. Then start with the one person who can make that happen. So, what's one area in your life where you need to stop blaming and start owning? Put it in the comments and let's get real. Truth 13. Build daily habits that cement your confidence. Confidence isn't built overnight or in a single moment. It's forged daily in the habits you choose, the actions you repeat, the standard you set for yourself. The problem is most men try to overhaul everything at once and then quit. Real change is small and steady. It's waking up and doing the workout, even when you don't want to. It's choosing the hard conversation instead. Goodbye of the easy silence. It's reading a page, not binge-watching Netflix. It's showing up when nobody's watching. These tiny victories stack up and create a new version, one who doesn't question himself because he knows what he's capable of. The man who wins isn't the one who gets fired up once in a while. It's the man who commits to his process every damn day. If you want to build that kind of unshakable confidence, comment daily grind. Tell me your one habit you're going to build right now. Remember, discipline is your backbone, but habits are the muscle. And muscles only grow when you use them consistently. What's your first small step? Share it below and make it real. Truth. 14. Accept that confidence is a journey, not a destination. One last thing every man must accept. Confidence is never a final destination. It's a constant, sometimes messy, always evolving journey. There will be days you feel on top of the world and days you doubt yourself so hard you can barely breathe. That's normal. The difference is how you react. The confident man knows it's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up again and again. Even when the voice in your head tells you to quit, you will have setbacks. You will face moments that challenge everything you've built. But that's the test. Do you crumble or do you lean in? The answer defines your manhood more than any trophy or title ever will. If you get this, drop journey accepted in the comment. Let's own this process together. Confidence isn't about never being afraid. It's about being afraid and moving forward anyway. It's about embracing the grind, the failures, the win, and the lessons as part of who you are becoming. So, are you ready to commit to the long haul, to fight for your confidence every day? Because that's what real men do. No more hiding. Let's stop pretending you didn't feel this. If you made it this far, you felt every damn word. Because deep down, you know something's got to change. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, you've been living in survival mode for too long, faking confidence, hiding weakness, waiting for something outside you to make it all click. But here's the hard truth. No one's coming to save you. No course, no girl, no perfect moment is going to fix it. It's on you. It's always been on you. And the longer you run from that truth, the further you drift from the man you were supposed to become. You want confidence. Then stop watching and start moving. Go back through each of these TRUH. Reread the one that hit you hardest, the one that pissed you off or made your chest tighten. That's your entry point. That's the part of you screaming for change. Listen, don't numb it out with another video or another excuse. Use it. Get uncomfortable. Get honest. Because nothing changes until you do. And the man you want to be isn't built in comfort. He's built in chaos, repetition, and brutal honesty. Tell me in the comment which truth hit you hardest today. Which lie are you done telling yourself? Don't just scroll past like this was entertainment. Make it personal. Say it out loud. That's where the shift begins. Look, any man can watch a video. Any man can feel fired up for 10 minutes and forget it by morning. But if you're done living like that, if you're done hiding, doubting, shrinking, waiting, then do something different. Right here, right now. Comment your commitment. Say what you're going to face. Say what you're going to fix. Or walk away and know you choose comfort over evolution again. You've got one life, brother. One shot at this. Don't let it slip by because you were too afraid to face yourself. The strongest men you know, they weren't born confident. They built it out of failure, truth, fear, and discipline. Now, it's your turn.